So, Brian, listen to this fun fact of the week. During the Great Depression, a businessman from Quincy, Florida, convinced struggling families in the small town to buy shares of Coca-Cola. Quincy later became the single richest town per capita in the United States, with nearly 100 people becoming millionaires from Coca-Cola.
That's wild.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. What I want to know, we need to dig into this a little more. How long did they hold it to become the millionaire?
Well, yeah.
Right?
I was starting in, 1929 or
Right.
something, yeah. Well, Great Depression, when was that? That was 40s, wasn't it?
No, it was 20.
20s, yeah. So we've got an inbox here from Dawn, an email in the inbox. It says, I'm 60 years old. I own my own business. The value of our business is $4.5 million. I would like to know, is now the time to sell? And if so, what are the first steps?
Well, it sounds like she got a business valuation, or maybe she's guessing at this point. I don't know. It depends if that's a real valuation or not. But let's just go off on that number, $4.5 million, right? That's a great valuation for someone 60 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the risk that you take, right? Because a lot of business owners fail, but she was, almost successful. If you do retire,
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah,
Dawn.
exactly. The biggest problem with selling a business is, okay, if I get income, if I sell it all one time, I have to pay, the tax, right? It's long-term capital gains most of the time, sold as an asset sale. So right there, if you have federal, you're at the top. Capital gains tax at 20. Most of it's at 20 anyways.
Capital gains tax is 20%?
Oh, yeah. Over a certain income, but then most of it pretty much at this level at $4.5 million. Then you got 3.8%.
So $900,000, so $1 million on her
Medicare
property?
tax. It's more than that. And then you got the state, because she's in Virginia. She said Virginia, right?
I don't know that it's.
Did she say that? Okay. But anyways, in Virginia, where we're at, it's 5.75. So if she was in Florida, it's 0, right? Which helps. But in that situation, you're almost at 30%, 29.75 to be exact, right? And that's over $1.3 million in tax all in 1 year. So when you take off you're thinking that you're walking with $4.5 million, people are figuring out, oh, well, I can take 4% of $4.5 million. No, you're not going to be taking.
Don, don't get out. Don't ever get out. No, I don't think that's what you're saying.
Well, it's funny, actually. Many years ago, a small business owner that looked into this and called me up and was like, hey, I'm thinking about selling my business. Arizona, this is almost going back 20 years. And he's like, yeah, I got a business valuation. And then my CPA, he told me that I was going to pay like 40% in tax and selling this thing. He's like, forget it. I'll just stay working. This is ridiculous. Back then it was, I don't know, it was a couple $1 million business. But yeah, she would really be netting $3.2 million. Right. And so you got to have
still great, but gosh, that's a lot of money out.
So, there's things you can do. It just depends. You're going to own or finance this thing, structured installment sales that could spread the tax and keep it down at a lower tax bracket. Which would get rid of the 3.8% Medicare tax. You maybe get $150,000 worth of income a year. That's all she needed to probably live anyways.
Yeah.
She's probably making that in the business. There's all kinds of things. There's charitable gift plannings that could eliminate the tax, that could, pass money on to the charity, get her income in the rest of her life, her children's lives if she wanted in a pooled income fund. There's deferred sales trust. She could sell the real estate, 1031 into another piece of real estate if she doesn't want to be the manager into a passive investment. That's a tax deferred, and then it passes tax free. So there's a lot of things you can do. It's just depending on what her goals are, right? So Dawn obviously didn't give us enough information. This would be an hour and a half long.
Well, I think she was just looking for first steps.
Yeah,
and is this a good
first
time
step?
to
If she doesn't have a business valuation, you got to get a certified business valuation from an analyst that knows the business in and out. Somebody maybe specifically in the industry that she's in, or
do you have those people?
Well, yeah, we have certified valuation analysts that we would send it to, and they come back with a report. And a lot of times they think it's worth $4.5 million. It's really worth $4 million, but that's okay. We got a real number to work on.
Yeah, right.
Right. Then she could obviously. Then you start working on her goals before she ever even goes out and markets it. Right. What are we going to do? How much do you need in income? Are you willing to own and finance some of this? And what about the real estate that you own in the building, right? Do you want to keep it? Do you want to rent it out to the new people? Are the employees going to stay? There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot in a business.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to chew on.
I'm sure she knows that. That's why she's asking the question.
Right. But yeah, it starts with the evaluation and finding an exit planner that can walk you through those steps until you get to that point where you get confident going, wow, this is going to be great. I'm going to save. Maybe you're not completely eliminating all the tax because you want some flexibility. Maybe you're only saving, $750,000 or $1 million in tax, and you're pulling some cash out. But the idea is you have a rock solid plan that you could move forward with and be confident knowing that you've done everything possible legally, morally, and ethically, right, to come up with a solid plan to get more income in retirement, and you don't have to do your day job anymore. You don't have the stresses of the business anymore.
Don, your first steps might want to be to check out our website. Go to retirementplannow.com. I'm sure Brian's team could help you out with those first steps. Retirementplannow.com.